What's happening, everybody?
What's going on, one and all? You know, it's funny. We were just talking about intros. We got to do something like that same old intro. Like it's good. It's not bad. But like if we did something a little bit more personal, it'd be like, yeah,
Nice.
would be John approved. What's
Yes.
going on, everybody? Welcome out there in Viewerland. This is yet another fantastically wonderful, stupendously awesome
Battle Bros.
episode of the Battle Bros
Podcast.
podcast with Mac and Alamo. My name is Mac. This handsome SOB over here is Alamo. Welcome.
Like, share, and subscribe. Remember, and hit the notification bell if you're on YouTube, so you can make sure you get all of our new content.
Thank you, movie voice guy.
Thank you.
I'm telling you, dude, it'd be killer. So welcome back, everybody. If you're joining us for the first time, appreciate you stopping by. Check us out. This is the Battle Bros podcast with Mac and Alamo. We are a two-man wrecking crew. We talk about veteran and military related issues, culture, lifestyle, all that good happy horse shit.
Damn right.
And hopefully like what you see. If you don't, well, hey, it's not for everybody. It's cool. If you do, awesome. Tell your friends. Spread the word. Pass it forward. Anyway, so
Right. Share.
How you doing there, bud? How's your week going?
My week was actually kind of so
That fun. Awesome.
yeah. Oh yeah, that fun. Yeah. So
Moving right along. Right. Mm-hmm. So yeah, my week was kind of good too. I ended up having the day off today, so it's like last minute. I'm getting ready to walk out the door, and they're like, we don't need you today." Roger that. So
I started my weekend early. Roger that.
Yeah. I did some reading. I'm reading a new book, which is awesome. I'm reading Robert Heinlein's science fiction classic Starship Troopers. And
what's happening there, Chuck?
We got somebody in there?
Yeah.
Hey, War Daddy Withers. What's happening, my man? All right. War Daddy is in the chat. Good stuff. But yeah, so I'm like 5 chapters into Starship Troopers, and it's written in 1959, I think is when it was published.
Yeah.
Still surprisingly relatable, 70 some odd years later. It's insane. It's a really good book.
I can't lie. I've actually been thinking about breaking into the old novels of Dune, only because the recent Dune film that I watched
was crap.
No, it was actually amazing. The story, I think because they tried to make it as accurate to the book as possible, it didn't make sense. So I feel like if I read the book, it would probably make just a tad bit more sense.
Gotcha. Okay.
You know what I'm saying? But the movie was amazing. Great acting, all that stuff.
Which is kind of interesting because usually when
you're not wrong, Chuck. You're not wrong.
When they redo a movie, it's kind of shit. Did you send me photos, War Daddy? I know you mentioned that earlier. We're going to get into that, but if you sent me photos, I didn't receive them. I don't know where you sent them to, but I did get the note that you left, so we're good to go. So if people aren't listening or watching going, what the hell are they talking about? Let's jump right into this, headlong into the deep end of the pool, shall we? My movie guy voice is not as good as yours. It sounds like I've been smoking Newports all damn day.
It doesn't sound as epic when you don't use the same voice as this.
Okay, you know what? Just fuck your face, guy, right? I don't care. So if you caught our episode last week, we talked about adjustments. Basically going from everything starting off as, pre-military through basic training, AIT tech school, that kind of thing, all the way up through deployments, getting out of the military, like different transitions that we go through in life, adjustments, lifestyle wise, event wise. So if you haven't had the chance, go back and check that out. That's episode 052 entitled Adjustments. Pretty good conversation we had about that. This week, we're going to take a slightly different approach. We can't have every episode be all doom and gloom and serious and, knife hand ninja coming at you and stuff. Mm-hmm. We're going to take a slightly different approach. So we're going to take a calmer, gentler, nicer, kinder approach. Because doggone it, we love you.
Funny twist.
A little funny twist. So, we're going to talk a little bit about some things you did to kind of make yourself comfortable. So, when you were on active duty or a reservist or whatnot, what are some things that you did when you had weekend liberty or a 4-day pass? Friday through Monday or something like that. What were some things that you took with you? Excuse me. What are some things you took with you when you deployed, just to kind of make the experience a little bit more bearable? The topic for this week's episode 053, is going to be creature comforts. So this is going to be something, that we kind of just we're talking about. We had a little bit more of a very narrowly focused discussion plan here, but we kind of figured it would have been probably over in about 10 minutes. So we kind of broadened the spectrum a little bit, and we kind of opened it up to a little bit more of a general conversation about a bunch of different things. So let us say we jump right into this. So creature comforts, the definition that I found, are material comforts that contribute to physical ease and well-being, such as good food and accommodations. Now, we're going to forget the last two parts of good food and accommodations, because when you're overseas, that's not always the case, because you might be living in a fucking GP medium, eating MREs 3 times a day, and then having
or if you get some chubis from the economy while you're over there. Yeah, the chubis is freaking amazing. We're talking about the flatbread. It's like that
the naan.
the flatbread that they make. Oh my god!
So I've said this several times.
Like, they'd fucking give me the freaking and I'd be like, yeah. I would take like 3 or 4 freaking patties, just stick them in my pocket, and fucking chew on them as I'm fucking on patrol.
So it's funny. I've said it a few times on the show, but like they have, they at least they used to. I don't know that they still do, because the guys that they're market that this is kind of geared for are probably getting up there in age. But they do a 500 feet down, eat surf and turf. Well, hey, Navy food's good there, War Daddy. I mean, listen, you guys got some of the best chefs in the world, so
damn right.
Especially on a submarine, they got to keep you guys happy. Anyway, they do a flight once a year to Iwo Jima, and it's usually like a bunch of Marines and like all Marine veterans, all that kind of stuff. They go from, I think, Japan over to Iwo Jima and whatnot. So if they had the opportunity, like many years down the road, if current situations were a little bit different, political landscapes have kind of quelled themselves down to semi-normalcy, I would go back to Afghanistan, and the food over there is fantastic. Eat some lamb on some naan. Oh man, like a little burrito out of that shit.
Yeah.
Dude, so fucking good. Oh my god, it's amazing. So yeah, it's really good. But so we're going to look at this from a lot of different points. We're going to look at it from being deployed, not being deployed, being, at your regular duty station, whether that be CONUS or OCONUS, that's continental U.S. or outside the continental U.S. for you non-military folks that don't speak in acronyms like we unfortunate fuckers do. So, and that's good. Like, for Alamo's sake, he was stationed over in Germany for a while. So, I'm sure there's plenty of experiences that you had, off post when you were on a 4-day weekend or shit, where you guys were going around, and just that grin on your face says everything. We're going to get into that in a minute. So we kind of broke this down into a couple different conversations. So, and it's also going to be dependent upon like the time frame, because, like when I went over to Afghanistan, it was still relatively early in, probably within the first quarter of the 20-year period of known as, the global war on terrorism, because it went from 01 to 2022. So we're looking at like 21 years. I went over in 05, 06. You went over, what year was that again, Macho?
07, 09. We were part of the last surge, the 15-month tours.
That's right. You had the 15-month tour. So you stayed just a little over a year and stuff. Yeah. So, and it kind of all depends on, what kind of stuff we took over there and this, that, and the other. So, let's kind of deep delve into that as I keep fucking with my headset here. Sorry. Anyway, so.
Make sure it's adjusted.
Thank you, movie voice guy. Jesus. So, first, what we originally were going to talk about is music. what kind of music did we listen to when we were over there? It's kind of different, and I guess it just depends on what kind of mindset you're in. So, whenever we were over there, and like I remember working out, a lot of guys would listen to stuff. I mean, MP3 players were kind of starting to be a little bit prevalent, and it's kind of starting to get a little bit more popular and shit. iPods and whatnot. Yep. I mean, they were like those little bricks of like huge. I would. It would just kind of depend. Like there would be times I would go the Afghan base that we were on. It was a pretty good, like it was probably like a good square kilometer or so in size. We occupied but just a small corner, like the northwest corner of it. So you drove south, and you entered the base on the north side, the northern side of the base, and then you drove down a little bit, and then kind of into the corner, and that's kind of where the American contingent, our forces were at. But what I do is a lot of times I'd go out the gate and I would run down, and then like run the sides of the perimeter wall, and I had my, I don't know why I'm so freaking. Hold on. No, not that. Calm down. I could say something, but I don't want him to come through the comments and kick my ass. So I'm going to not say anything about people that were in the Navy and served on submarines because, yeah, War Daddy will find me. Anyway, so, but yeah, like I would, depending on what I was doing, I listened to like a lot of like, kind of upbeat, kind of semi-angry stuff, just because it kind of helped me get a good workout in and whatnot. There were other times when I would listen to just, stuff I liked if I'm just kind of chilling. If it was like, because we had a 12-day rotation cycle. We did 3 days working on the guard gate during the day. Then we switched and did 3 days working in the guard towers at night. After that, we only on Thursdays, bitch. This is why War Daddy's so great to have on the show. Absolutely. Anyway, then we did 3 days of work in mission squad where we'd actually have to go and like maybe pick up, military packs at the airport on the other side of town. And then we had 3 days off. 3 days off, as long as you're, in uniform, PTs or something like that, you can do whatever the fuck you want. So no big deal. But music wise, I mean, it just kind of depended on my mood. What did you have to say about that there, Alamo?
Well, when I was overseas, the little music doomahickey that I actually listened to was this little bad boy, Rapion. And if you look at that, that's actually the iPod Nano, the one to the very right of the screen. I had that exact model. And what I ended up doing was I ended up loading like, I mean, God, I don't know how many freaking... I easily had somewhere in the ballpark of between maybe 200 to like 300 songs on there. And
which isn't a lot if you think about it, but back then you're like, yeah, that's a lot of music.
It's back crazy. Then, hell yeah. I mean, I had everything from...
You talking about the Nano, the tall, slender one?
The small kind of stout, slim one to the very, very right. That one. Okay. That one, believe it or not, was only about yay big. It wasn't a very big piece of hardware.
Didn't it have a clip or something on the back of it?
No, but you could always, if you went like to the PX or whatever, you could always get yourself like the little like armbands and shit
with like the sleeve that you could slide it into. Yeah.
Slide it into. And that right there, my friend, was the way that I listened to music while I was overseas. And I mean, I had everything from Slipknot, Lamb of God, Metallica. Like you want to talk about all the like heavy hitters that you want to like listen to like freaking amp yourself up for the gym or go right before going out on mission. Like,
and it's like, and it's just kind of like gets you in that mindset. It's like one of my favorite songs to this day, and it might not have come out. I forget when it came out, but like, I gotta look it up. Hold on, let me see where I'm.
Omerta by Lamb of God.
No.
Omerta.
Oh, that's a great one. You know who liked that? Our buddy John.
Yep. I introduced him to that. I can't remember.
I don't remember. Oh God, that was way before. So there's a great song from a group called Alice in Chains called Rooster that is like, and it came out in '92, but it kind of saw a little bit of a resurgence in with folks. Damn,
Chuck said,
dude.
"Hell, Walkmans."
No, but you see, he said under that, he said,
Dancing Queen. Nice.
Oh, that's so good, so good. But
Scheiße.
especially after the movie Terminator Salvation came out, like the song Rooster kind of, and it's, dude, you just hear that opening chords of it, you're just like, oh yeah, yeah, it's so good. Like if we could get that to be the intro to our show, that'd be
I know,
good.
but we'd get copyright so hard.
Oh, I know.
That would suck. Our episodes would never play.
Yeah, I got you. So yeah, music just kind of depends. There were some times I'd listen to other stuff too. Like that's kind of where I kind of really started listening to like techno and EDM. My buddy had an iPod that I would borrow to go running. I have my own heads, have my own earbuds and stuff, and it was
yeah, because nobody wants to share, earwax. No,
that's gross. It's the beginning song from, and I got my phone right here. I got to look it up. Stand by. It is. What is it? It is. Damn it! Come on, hurry up.
Yeah, for all you youngins out there, we had to have our iPods and all that stuff before we could just use our phones for everything. Kind of dating myself. Oh my God! Does anybody remember the Zune? Do you remember the Zune?
My brother had one.
Those things like lived and died for like a year and a half.
My brother had one, and unfortunately, my house got broken into and it got stolen. But he had one.
Yeah. When did that happen?
Oh, that's another story for another time, my man. Don't worry about it. No, but there's a song at the very beginning of the first Blade movie where they're in like that nightclub. I would, because it was like a 10-minute long track. I would just sit there.
I remember.
Put that on and start running to it. And for some reason, it cut off of my playlist. I have a techno EDM playlist, and like it's not on there anymore. It's like 41 hours worth of like techno and EDM and stuff. It's like, yeah. So there was that, and then there was also another song. But it was just good because like, I would use that and it would just help me focus.
Discman. What the hell?
Hey, War Daddy, did you guys have portable portable 8-track players? Or
I was about to say portable 8-track. Damn.
Much love, brother. Much love. Anyway, so yeah, I just kind of listened to a lot of different things. I had to. Our friend Brian, I was talking to him earlier. So he went to Iraq in 2003 when everything first kicked off. Our old battalion, 2nd of the 124 Infantry Regiment out of the Florida Army National Guard, they went over very early. Like they were kind of like they were kind of staging out of Jordan for a short time. And he said, when they were, that was my brother in the 70s. Nice.
That was my brother. Oh shit!
I just want to see somebody in the Navy in bell bottoms in the.
Don't they still wear the bell bottom freaking uniforms?
They still do. Yeah, they still do. And I see him rocking an 8-track, dancing the Dancing Queen in his Cracker Jacks. Oh, that'd be so good. Yes, thank you. Thanks, Withers. I appreciate that. Nope. So good, but so they were the first ones to set foot into Iraq. They had staged. That's what I was looking for. They staged in Jordan. They had some assistance from the Jordanian government. They actually helped them build Tent City, which was like a bunch of GP mediums and all that stuff. So Brian was telling me he just had a bunch of CDs and a CD player. He's like, we're out there in the middle of the desert. You see a bunch of Bedouins going back and forth and stuff. It's like, it's crazy. So, when I got to my camp in 2005, it was actually built up pretty well. Something else I can say to age myself, not music related, but I was one of the few guys that didn't have a digital camera. I had taken over like 12 or 15 fucking Kodak disposables, like snap, snap. I got to hold the thing for the flash.
I had gotten with the times by then.
okay, fuck your face. That's great. Some of us didn't have that option. But it took me like 2 months after I got home just to develop all those damn pictures and stuff, and I made a photo album out of the shit. But good stuff. Okay, so music. So the next one,
the last one.
What's up?
I found this. I found the picture of the fucking Zune. So for anybody watching, okay, like this is like one of those things that was like very like, and in all honesty, to a certain degree, it had a lot of like features that, in my personal opinion, actually were kind of better than the damn freaking iPod.
So it was made by Microsoft.
Yeah, it was made by Microsoft,
and it was supposed to be a direct competitor to the iPod and all that kind of stuff.
But iPods
had such a big following, and it was just they blew up so good, so fast. Mm-hmm. It was just like
they couldn't compete, man. They just couldn't. They tried.
Hey, you see what Wither said? 9091 boom boxes.
Yep.
M16. Oh, M16s and boom boxes. That's that's the title of a great book.
Yeah. Oh, man.
It's fantastic. But yeah, I thought the Zune was cool. He let me try it a couple times. I liked it. It wasn't bad. But yeah, they died off quick.
Yeah, like it was like literally within like 2 years. Like it was a very short run. Very short.
But you know what though? Like as popular as iPods are, as they were. I mean, I would
now everything's done on the phone.
Now everything's done on your phone with apps and stuff, which I think is fine. I mean, you don't have to go buy a certain device or all that shit. Everybody has I would say, I don't know. I would say it's pretty. If it's not evenly spread between like iPhone and like Droid operating system, it's probably close, or Android operating system. It's probably.
I'm willing to bet it leans just a little bit more Android than iPhone.
I hope so. I mean, I'm an Android guy. So
I'm willing to bet that it does, just a little bit.
So moving along, we have, what's our next topic? Oh, movies and TV shows. So I can tell you for a fact. So one of the cool things, there was a guy.
Haji copies.
Not even that. No. Yes, you could get the bootlegs off the local economy like it was nobody's business. Like that was just so jacked up. One of our squad leaders.
Haji copies was all I used, bro.
I get it. One of our guys who went over to Iraq in 2003, he actually like burned copies of like 300 something movies, and we had a platoon library. Yeah. So what you would do is everybody had their name on like a 3x5 index card or like a 2x4, one of those two sizes. You have your name and rank on it, and what you do is you'd borrow the movie out and you'd put your name in there to know that, hey, you borrowed it. And then when you're done, you brought it back and took it out and all that kind of shit. So we had like, dude, I saw so many great movies because I had so much downtime over there. Like I had never seen Blazing Saddles. And I was just like, where the fuck have I been? Like, I am slacking as an individual. This is such horseshit.
Mel Brooks classic.
Oh, Jesus. You understand why he's so funny.
Yeah.
He's an absolute genius. But that, and then just watching all these other great movies. When I was over there, too, Chappelle Show was still really, really big. Yep. It was right about the time. But what we were just talking about before we jumped on air was Band of Brothers. Huge. I had watched Band of Brothers run. We had a weekend pass when we were in Mississippi, and I watched all 10 episodes, start to finish, back to back, for Band of Brothers, and it was awesome. It was like a 10-hour movie. It was fan-fucking-tastic. You could have watched it's like watching a couple of the Lord of the Rings movies and shit. But
absolutely.
What about the other thing, I had all 5 seasons of the greatest sketch in living color, one of the greatest sketch comedy shows that not too many people know about. Dude, so many people launched their careers off that show. Tommy Davidson.
I bought those volumes because you told me about it, because I didn't realize that they were out on video, dude. And then when you told me that they were out on video, I was like, what? Bought every single season off of Amazon.
So I ended up giving all that stuff away because I couldn't pack it through customs and all that shit. And I was just I mean, I could get it back, but whatever. But dude, I mean, you have all these people that start off. You have David Allen Greer, Tommy Davidson,
Yeah,
all the Wayans family, Kim Wayans, Marlon, Sean, Damon, Keanu
Carrie.
Ivory. Oh, God, that show was so good.
Mm-hmm.
So good. So many people got started on that. But okay, so what do you got for movies and TV shows?
Haji copies, bro. like where we were at in many places in the.
So
let's
just call them bootleg, just because we don't want to piss anybody off with the racial.
It's a racial slur, my ass. That way, give me a break. You speak to no, you're good. If you speak to a freaking guy, I'm sorry, but a Haji is someone who has been on the Hajj.
Which is a pilgrimage to Mecca.
They went on the pilgrimage to Mecca. So if you're offended by me calling a Haji, fuck your face. Because Hajis
turn off the show, go watch something else.
Exactly. Hajis call themselves Hajis themselves. So nah.
I mean, Jesus, look at the cartoon. Yeah. Where there's look at this. Remember the cartoon Johnny Quest, the Indian, like the little guy's name was Haji.
Yeah. But I will say they kind of appropriated only because he was actually Indian.
Yeah, that's true.
Although it might have been post Pakistani, what you call it. You know what I'm saying? So fuck that, man.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. Nice Withers.
Oh, listen. War Daddy's got some good stories, everybody. So anyway, keep going.
But either way, like I said, we had the Haji copies, you know what I mean? And I freaking dude, you'd go in there and freaking he'd have freaking packs of movies. Like he'd be like,
but what was great about him is they had
I have all these movies. Listen. All these movies.
You had 5 or 6 movies that came on one disc.
Yes, and what would happen is
you'd buy one of those just because of one movie you wanted to see, and the other 5 are it's like crap, and it's just whatever, I want to see this one.
They had really shitty made up menus and stuff. The names of the movies were all misspelled, but they still worked. So it'd be you'd go in there, and he'd be like, listen, mister, look. I have great deal for you. You look man that likes, huh? What?
So the reason why that was on there because there are Muslims in India.
And you know what? That's what I was talking about. I think it's what was it?
Thanks for that clarification there, War Daddy. Appreciate you.
I think that was what was that? Not apartheid. Shit. What was that? Damn it! What do they call it? It was when when Pakistan was starting to get really they made the move from India to Pakistan. That much I do know. There was a lot of Muslim Indians in India, and then they made the move to Pakistan. So that's why if you see a lot of Pakistanis,
high school education,
they look Indian.
I'm stupid. I don't know.
Yeah,
knuckle dragon fucker right here. So okay. the fact that I'm reading a book is a triumph enough. Let's just freaking take that win, that W, and fucking go. So.
But he'd be like, listen, mister, great deal for you. You look like man that likes business. Okay, listen. I have 10 movies. You buy 10 movies, I give you 10 movies. You want 10 movies? I give you 10 movies. $5. And then if you want more, I give you. Listen, mister.
That was something I was
25 movies. 25 movies. Okay, listen. $30.
That's something I wasn't used to culturally. Is the haggling. It's if you didn't haggle, it was kind of considered a little.
That's
bit of
because
insult.
that's how they operate in shops and the bazaars and stuff like that out on the street. That's how they do it. So they're always used to haggling.
Oh yeah. Okay.
He said $5 too much.
Too much. All right. So next, video games. I didn't play a lot of video games. I remember playing, Delta Force, Black Hawk Down, which is kind of like a first-person shooter kind of thing. Kind of similar to Call of Duty is nowadays. That kind of stuff. I didn't really play a whole lot. It's just I didn't have a system. We had a system in our common area for a squad, but we really didn't. I really didn't play a lot. I just watched other guys play and all that kind of shit. So
yeah. Freaking we got all technical. Like I said, when we had these guys that came off the economy, and these guys were hagglers, man. Like one of these guys had like
right?
a little. He had a freaking tech shop in like for computers and computer parts and shit. In like, I think we were on. What was it? I'm almost positive we were at Camp Warhorse when we actually found this shop. And I was like, whoa, what the fuck? This is a video conversion card.
It was like a Haji Best Buy or some shit?
Something like that, yeah.
No shit.
And basically, it's an adapter that you would plug in via USB 3 to your laptop with, you remember the red, white, and yellow freaking connections? The connectors that
you had
the AV connectors, I think is what they're called?
You had the 2 for audio and the 1 for video. Yeah.
I used that, connected it to my laptop, downloaded like whatever software it was that allowed me to use that adapter, and I would play my Xbox 360 with Wi-Fi in the hooches, and just like sometimes play online games and all that good stuff. It was ridiculous. It was like, how, like, this is freaking awesome.
But see, that just goes to show you, in that part of the world, ingenuity is how you survive. Like, if you think about, like, in the past conversations we've had talking about, the locals in Afghanistan, how they would take, like, they had like all these like T-72 tank like shells of tanks and stuff. It's kind of like, it looked like if you've ever seen like the dead, like a turtle where all the meat and stuff has been rotted away or picked away by a vulture or something. It's just the shell, the upper. That's what these tanks look like, and they'd all be checked. They'd all have checks on them and stuff for being cleared by it for explosives and all that kind of crap. But every little thing of use or worth has been pulled out of that and repurposed. But same thing, like Wither says down here, we all had that techie. He fixed the shit that you broke for smokes.
Yep.
True story.
And then what was even crazier was like right after I had initially gone home on R&R, I took my Xbox home and I ended up forgetting it.
At home?
At home. I took my Xbox home so I could, but so I could, play my Xbox while on a nice TV geek. And everything. What I ended up getting was something called the PlayStation Portable, which
is the PSP.
Yeah. And like, again, it's one of those things for anybody that
lives under a rock.
Basically, it's that little bad boy right there.
Yep.
I don't know how many games for that. Everything from God of War series games, Metal Gear, like you name it, I had it for that little freaking console. That thing got me through the rest of my life.
Can we just agree with the fact that like Metal Gear is like one of the best video game franchises ever? Like,
yeah. And unfortunately, since Kojima left,
Hideo Kojima, yeah.
Since Kojima left Konami, it's just
dead. It's dead. Stagnant, yeah.
Because they own the rights to it, so he'll never get it back. And that was one of his favorite franchises to work on.
Of my favorite, one of my top 3 video games favorites is Metal Gear Solid 3. Like
Snake Eater?
Snake Eater, yeah. Yes. Yeah. So good.
I love the intro music.
Storyline.
It sounds like a James Bond movie.
Yes. The story is so good. The bosses, like the boss fights are so good. Like, and you really had to think about like, okay, you can go in there guns blazing, but also like, dude, if you just use a little bit of like stealth, you can get around so without having to kill anybody. It's
exactly.
Like great. So, but yeah, video games, man, we're good. Okay, next. Rainbow Six. Oh yeah, that was huge.
Rainbow Six was the shit, especially if you played the one that was for the 360, which we did.
Roger that, Warden.
And we wirelessly connected our Xboxes together, and we would go and do terrorist hunt on that shit.
Oh yeah,
dude, awesome.
So, books. I only read I think 1 or 2 books while I was over there. I actually picked up a book while I was home on leave. I came back. I was down at Camp Phoenix for I think a couple of days, and I was in a transient hut, which is way out there. Yeah, that's true. So I had picked up a copy of Dan Brown's Da Vinci Code, and like I literally, so I'm like the only guy in this transient tent. Like there's probably
Yeah.
like there's 20 sets of bunk beds on each side, just going all the way down. I'm the only dude in this transient tent. So the only thing I had to do was like go down, go eat chow, come back, and I would just sit there, and I had nothing else to do. So I'm like, I am not a voracious reader. I'm not a voracious reader by any stretch, but like I could not put that book down. Like it was amazeballs.
There are those
So
books
good.
that can't be put down, man. And I'll agree. Like I'm a huge geek, so duh. Duh.
It's all good,
dude. I had just gotten into the Harry Potter movies.
Yeah.
And
did you read the books?
I'm not gonna lie, man. My entire deployment, I read all 7 books. Yeah. All 7 books in the franchise. And by the way, way better details in the books than the movies. Very obviously.
So I'm starting to get my daughter has a very voracious appetite when it comes to reading. Like she goes when she likes going to. Funny enough, like I mentioned before the show, she likes checking out joke books.
Yeah, no surprise there.
Yeah, but she also likes checking out like comic books, like graphic novels type stuff. So yeah, you know, I'm hoping that she likes to. She'll want to read the Harry Potter stuff when she gets a little older.
Yeah, Tom Clancy.
I did actually read Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six novel, and it was pretty good. Oh, fantastic! It was so good.
Did you hear that Michael B. Jordan's actually going to be the lead role in an adaptation of Rainbow Six?
Yeah, I did see that. I did also see where Chris Pratt is coming back for another season of
season 2, baby.
What is it? Terminal List?
The Terminal List. It's going to be essentially each season, as far as I'm being told from a lot of things that I'm reading. Every season is going to be named after every book in the series.
Okay.
So Terminal List was the first book. And then
there's another series coming out with an actor by the name of Taylor Kitsch, who is playing somebody. He's reviving a character that he played in the Terminal List, kind of showing as like a prequel to all this. He's a CIA officer or something like that.
Yes.
I forget what his name is, but it's pretty good.
Yeah. But, it's been a minute since I've watched I binge watched that entire series in like a freaking week. That series was good.
So yeah, I didn't read too many books. I read one, but it was it's pretty good. So okay, so now we're getting into some other stuff. So hobbies. I mean, when you're deployed, there's about only thing you can do is freaking when you're not on duty is sleep. Eat, inhale, ingest large amounts of pre-workout, go work out. Freaking. Beat your meat and fucking sleep and play video games and all that shit. I mean, there's not a lot to do. That and just kind of play fuck games with everybody. But,
yeah, pretty much.
But what about when you were in Germany? So let's kind of take that. Just kind of take this on a slightly different path. When you were in Germany, what kind of hobbies did you have to do, or like, what kind of included the hobbies and the local stuff?
Yeah, honestly. I mean,
you guys were at Germany and you had like a 4-day weekend. What kind of stuff would you guys do? Like you probably hang out.
We just travel around, man. Honestly, we just travel around. We hang out sometimes we'd hang out at the barracks. Just depended on, whether or not we had money.
True.
From not spending it on booze.
Guys, I'm not spending on
booze. So, if not, I mean, we went out on the economy and just fucking hung out, fucking got drunk, fucking went to good restaurants and hung out, man.
I imagine eating German food in Germany is like so amazing, dude.
Oh, it's good, bro.
I had
Greek restaurants are actually ran by Greeks.
I went when I was in a place, asked women to take us home.
Yeah, exactly.
I remember going to when I was in took a trip to DC before my daughter was born, and we went to a German restaurant and we had something called roulade, which was it was like a piece of meat, but they had like a pickle inside of it, and it was cooked. Rouladen, yeah, so good. It's amazing.
I love rouladen. Oh,
so good. There's actually dude, not too far from you there's a pretty good
Hullerbuck
in Sanford.
Yep, Hullerbuck. Yeah, we've been there. I had the Wiener Schnitzel.
Dude, that's what we should do.
The
I'm gonna come up and see
gravy
you.
is just on point. Oh, it's so good.
Okay,
good
so
God.
I went out. Side story. I went out and saw my buddy Kevin and play with his band at O'Brien's here in Brandon, and they do a Guinness gravy that you can order for like the freaking tater tots and stuff.
What?
So fucking good! Oh my god!
We all know that you Irish like those taters.
Aye, we do like the taters. We do like the taters, and we do like just some Guinness. So it's the best of both fucking worlds. How about don't you know?
That's right. Hey,
but yeah, dude. Next time you're out here, dude, we'll go to O'Brien's, and the Guinness gravy is fucking on point, dude. It's so good. So,
are they using the dark lager or are they using their regular?
Oh, now you're getting too into this kind of shit. I don't know. It might be the regular. I don't know if it's a dark, but I just know that it was fucking delicious. It was fucking tastic. Yeah, buddy. So something that Withers was bringing up too is like for hobbies and all that kind of stuff, photography, tourist walk around.
Oh, dude, taking pictures is that's my thing. I love that shit.
Brian was telling me. So Brian, who we've had on our show, and his constantly freaking giving us some input and stuff for our show, to which we are eternally grateful. Thank you.
You have saved our lives. We are eternally grateful.
Whoa. Those little three-eyed fuckers. Oh, that's so funny. So when Brian went from the National Guard, in the National Guard, he was infantry like I was, like a lot of us were. He switched over to the Army Reserves and went and became a 15 Tango, which is a crew chief on Blackhawks. So he was assigned to Fort Eustis for a while, which is up in, I believe, Virginia. Not 100% certain, but it's up in that part of the country. So on the weekends, when he was out of school, he would go and jump on the freaking Metro rail, go up to DC, and he would just wander around all weekend. And because the great thing about DC is like all the cool stuff to see up there is free. You can go to the Smithsonian, you can go to all the the hotspots. They have a World War II monument. You have the Lincoln Memorial, the Jefferson Memorial, all that kind of shit. I didn't know it, but when I went up there's a freaking spy museum. I'm like, fuck, let's go do that. That sounds awesome. Yeah,
nice. Talk about how they freaking shot people with freaking pufferfish poison pellets.
When at the gun store that we worked at, that shall remain nameless, they had a pen gun where you'd pull it out like this and the trigger would pop out. It's a 25 caliber pen gun and shit. I was like,
nice,
dude. Yeah. So, but he would go and like he would wander around DC all weekend at night. He's like, it's just such a cool experience to go around at night and stuff. See the Vietnam Wall and all these places. Like, it's so cool to like you see all like watching movies like A Few Good Men or all these ones that take place in DC. You see all these monuments, and then you're standing in front of them like. So I'm gonna kind of make fun of myself for a minute. When I was up there,
oh, you're gonna make fun of yourself?
Just shut up and listen. So we're standing right there. If you've ever seen, if you've ever been to DC, like right there in front of the Lincoln Memorial is that reflecting pool. That big long pool, and then you have the Washington Monument on the other end. My dumbass is sitting out here. I just went in there and looked at the Lincoln Memorial, and that thing is it's so impressive. Just it's huge. Like you don't understand how big that is till you get up there. So nice. I'm facing outwards from the Lincoln Memorial. So I'm looking down the steps, the front facade of that whole memorial. And I'm at the pool, and you can see the Washington Monument. And I'm sitting here, and the first thought of my head was, "This is where Jenny and Forrest reconnected." Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Like so. Freaking Chuck mentioned like picture taking and shit like that, and yeah. Believe it or not, I actually still have a good amount of pictures on my Facebook from when I was overseas. And there's times where you just see like I got really like fucking bored and just decided to take any kind of picture I could. God, I hated those uniforms. Yeah, that was our dog Havoc. That was a crazy little fucker, but man,
Yeah,
he was the best
ACUs
dog
were
ever.
such crap, man.
They
Like
were.
the uniform itself, like the layout of it is not bad, but that camo pattern was just
This
absolutely whoa.
that was a nice sandstorm right there.
Dude, that's a brownout. Jesus.
Yeah, man. Like at a certain point, we
Holy
actually
crap.
it got to a point where we almost like we pretty much could not see we could not see like I
Are
think
those
like anywhere
Hemmets?
yeah. We almost couldn't
Nice.
we at a certain point couldn't see like 10 feet ahead of us. It got that bad.
Yeah.
And that was actually while we were on Normandy. We were like we got grounded. Like we were supposed to go and do a
Grounded, you mean
flight.
like you couldn't oh, okay. So you were supposed to
Yeah.
be in helicopters?
Yeah, we were going to go out and do a flight. I don't remember to what or for what, but we were going to
Gotcha.
end up flying out and it did not happen, man, cuz that
So
sandstorm was blowing and it blew for at least a couple hours, which
wow.
is surprising because a lot of the times when we got one, they lasted I don't know, 20 minutes, half hour. That one lasted at least 2 hours. So we
So
got
the
grounded.
the last bit of creature comfort I will say the Army gave me right back here.
Whoopee!
You having a
'Cause
whoopee,
you
baby.
would be cold if you didn't have it.
Yeah. So that's good. So but yeah, you know, creature comfort is like a lot of it was oh, I just thought we also drank. Well, we couldn't. We weren't supposed to.
Yeah.
I will say the one thing that got sent to me that was pretty good. I had a family friend of ours make these. Some people call them Buckeyes, but it's basically like a chocolate peanut butter ball. So like peanut butter, and they kind of freeze it, and then they dip it in chocolate. And like she would actually ship them in like Pringles cans. Oh, so like you open these up, it's like these things are wonderful. Good stuff.
Oh, he's saying in Europe and Asia.
Oh yeah. Well, when you have like a port call, I'm sure you could probably do that. So,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, man. So we just kind of want to go down, take a little airborne shuffle down memory lane, talk about creature comforts and all that good stuff. So yeah. So we're gonna start wrapping this bad boy up. So if you haven't been
Let's
on the
do it,
show
baby.
before, we got started when a friend of ours, we found out that a friend of ours we had kind of lost touch with had eventually succumbed to the demons inside and chose to solve a temporary problem with a permanent solution and chose to end his life via suicide. So before that, we had kind of been talking about how we wanted to get back together and, you know, work with each other and whatnot. So we decided about a podcast. And in the process of coming up with this podcast and kind of like identifying and developing our brand, we came up with the Battle Bros code. Okay. And it's easy to remember. If you can remember the letters BROS, you can remember this. It's pretty simple stuff. And what these are, these four, you know, kind of like the pillars of the Battle Bros code are just kind of things you can do to keep yourself in the fight and keep yourself aware and alert and, you know, around, which is important. So the first one being be tenacious. No matter what you do in life, go out and do it to the fullest. Go out and do it to the utmost of your abilities. You know, don't give it 120% because that's not physically possible, but do the best job you can be, whether it's being a parent, coworker, a mentor, a subordinate, you know, whatever that case may be, do it to the utmost of your ability and do it to the fullest and do it as well as you can. Refuse to surrender. There are going to be times in your life where things happen that get you a little bit sideways, off track, kind of taking a detour into the woods, through the river, all that kind of stuff. It could be something medical. It could be something, you know, life event wise. You know, sometimes we have things happen that we don't want to happen, but we just kind of have to deal with it. Don't get discouraged. Don't get yourself flustered. Just remember that you're trying to, you know, accomplish something, whether it being, you know, being as tenacious of an employee or a family member or a mentor as possible, whatever the case may be. So no matter what happens, refuse to surrender. Don't let this stuff get you off track. Sometimes it's going to knock your dick in the dirt. Hey, it happens. Okay. Get up, dust yourself off, and fucking keep going. Oh, obliterate your obstacles. You know, kind of going hand in hand with what we just discussed. There are going to be times when obstacles come up, whether it's, hey, I'm 3 payments away from paying off my car. Well, shit, I wrecked it and I have to buy a new car. It happens. Okay. There are going to be times where you have to go over a wall. The simple objective is just literally on the other side of this wall, but you have to either go over it, go around it, go under it, all that good stuff. Sometimes you got to, trot a quarter mile into the wood line just to get on the other side of things. It happens. Okay. That's kind of the nature of life. It's unexpected. Things happen there. When you can, sometimes you do some fun shit to kind of obliterate those obstacles. Sometimes you get to breach the shit with C4 and Bangalores. Other times, hey, I'm driving a striker. Oops, I backed into a wall. My bad. Happens. This guy. Thanks, War Daddy. Appreciate you for stopping by.
Damn right.
No matter what happens, obliterate your obstacles and keep driving on to accomplish your goals and your mission and your objectives, okay? Last and most important pillar of the Battle Bros Code, S, seek out help in a time of need. There are plenty of times when we feel discouraged, when we feel down, when we feel like there's no way out. That's not the case. There's always options. They may not be good options. They may not be the best option. They may suck. At least it's an option, okay? Drive on, freaking keep going from there. There are times when people need help. There are times when, people might kind of give you a little bit of a weird vibe and you call and check on them and just say, hey, are you good? Just want to make sure. Just kind of got a weird vibe from you. And you want to check on those guys and just make sure that guys and ladies and gals, you want to check on them just to make sure that everything's okay. So if they need help, you can talk to them. Whether it's somebody you served with, somebody close, a brother, a mentor, we all have our moments of weakness. And it's important to know that there's somebody that can reach out to you. It might not be somebody you know. Okay. If you don't have a family member or a friend or a fellow service member that you served with or, deployed with or went to basic training with or something like that, there are options out there. Heaven forbid if you ever feel yourself feeling like there's no way out and the only way out is to end it. There are resources out there for you. There is the National Suicide Prevention Hotline, which they have a 1-800 number, which is 1-800-273-8255, which I somehow found out today or earlier this week that it's actually 1-800-273-TALK. The actual numbers are for it's 1-800-273-TALK, which I just found out. I was like, okay, that makes sense. So, but it's 1-800-273-8255. Again, 1-800-273-8255. We might want to update that, Alamo, on that banner down there, just so that it actually has the letters TALK on there after the stone. Just a kind of a note. You can also dial the 3-digit number 988. That's 988. And the cool thing about that, they just started that within the last half of last year. You can call or text that number, and it'll get you in touch with somebody. There you go. So yeah, do that, but put the numbers on there, but then just put in parentheses afterwards TALK, so we can still have the number. But whatever.
Listen here, guy.
Just do what I tell you to do there, voiceover guy. So
negative.
988. You can call or text 988. That'll get you in touch with somebody. They're open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, in case you are kind of going down a bad road. Okay, so it's very easy to get in touch with them. The resources are there. You just have to take that step and be brave and reach out and get help and ask for it when you need it. So if you can remember those 4 things: be tenacious, refuse to surrender, obliterate your obstacles.
Booyah.
There you go. Thank you. And seek out help in a time of need. You're going to be doing a lot better than most, than some, to be fair, than some. So everybody deserves to have their story told, to be passed on to the future generation. So we want to keep you guys around, want to keep you in the fight.
Their story being of epic nature.
Not now. We're being serious here for a minute. Okay?
Epicness.
Shut the fuck up. Thank you. All right, so I've done my part. I'm going to hand over to voiceover fuckface over here, and he's going to finish out the show. We're going to get the hell out of here. So it is your turn to talk into the microphone like a arrogant douchebag.
Never will they ever have times like this again.
Did you hear yourself what you just fucking said?
No.
Never will they ever have times like this again. That sounds like some kind of convoluted lyric from a fucking romantic. Oh, just do the intro, do the outro. Good God. I just want to punch you in the face sometimes.
All right. So, if you would like to contact us via the social medias, you can do that. Whatever.
Sorry. Withers just texted me on my phone. He's like, fucking creep.
Nice. Friggin'. You can do that over on the Facebook at facebook.com/battlebros.podcast. You can also catch us over on the Instagram at battlebros_podcast. Excuse me. You can see us on the Twitter at battlebrospc. And if you want to catch us on the audio platforms, do you know what I mean? You could do that over on the Spotify, over on the Anchor, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Overcast, Amazon Music, which, by the way, people are requesting us on Alexa and iHeart. I know because I checked the analytics. You guys still haven't sent us videos. What the hell?
Yes. Okay, so the first person that goes on there and if you make a video, because nobody's done this yet. We've asked for this since like season 2. We're halfway, a good way into season 3. If somebody gets on there and says, Alexa, play the Battle Bros podcast, and you get a video of that, send it to us. We want to give you a shout out for being the first person to do it. We want you to get that recognition. I mean, in the grand scheme of things, it has a monetary value of about 1/4 of a cent. So, but pretty much, it's all about the notoriety. It's like Mr. Burnham used to say with the trivia questions at the football games. I'll make you famous, at least here in Seffner. So, please do that. Did you mention the Gmail account or not yet?
The Gmail? Oh, yeah, that's right. You can catch, if you want to go ahead and message us direct, you can do that at the Gmail. You can do that at battlebrospc@gmail.com, where we will also get back to you within 24-hour period. That includes our social media platforms, all those goodies.
We get all these notifications to our personal cell phones. So
correct.
If you need something, reach out to us. We want to see what we can do to help out, all that good stuff. So.
And if you are watching on anywhere else, aka therumble.com, you can catch us over there. If you don't want to use the YouTube platform because you feel like it's a bit too restrictive, like many people are trying to do the transition, you can do that over on therumble.com and just search Battle Bros, all one word, and you'll find us there where you can actually subscribe and hit the rumble button. Give us that positive rumble, not the negative one, because I see some negative rumbles, you bastards. But give us some positive rumbles, and we'll continue to keep on trying to bring you some great content right here on this show. And don't forget to go to our show website, on the app, whatever, via the Anchor, and show us some support over there on there. If you'd like to make a donation, we'd appreciate that. Again, not an actual, hey, give us a donation. Just it'd be nice.
If you feel like contributing, hey, we would humbly and appreciatively say thank you and use it to continue our mission here. We would appreciate it. No requirement to do so. So, we're not to the point of being like, give me my motherfucking money. We're not doing that. If you want to send us money, great. If not, hey, it's all good. So
I will say this though. Views and listens. If you could help us out with that by sharing the message out there, that'll help get us out there a little bit more. Plus, the more views and the more listens we get, it'll actually lead to some good stuff, and we could continue to grow and expand the show for you.
Absolutely. So on that note, folks, thank you again for tuning in to episode 053 entitled Creature Comforts. We're going to get back to doing a little bit more of a serious talk in the next week. It's probably going to be a 2-parter. So stick around, buckle up, and enjoy the show. So on that note, thank you again for tuning in for the Battle Bros podcast.
By the way, real quick, I forgot to mention to you.
We forgot something else too.
I found out by geographic location, we now have somebody in Portugal and Austria that listened to us, and the Philippines.
Austria. Well, good day, Mike. Put another shrimp on the boat.
Bobby.
No, that's not it at all. That's not it at all.
As an Austrian, I take offense to that. Oh.
Oh man, it's a good time. So anyway, like we were saying, thank you again. We're still trying to grow the brand a little bit better. We just found out last week or so that we have over 1,000 views on YouTube, which is amazing considering we had no idea what we were doing when we started this off. The most important thing to do is just to remember.
First episode was so cringe.
Oh, it's cringe. It's cringe as fuck. You're just like, ugh. Before we're just like, Withers like, Austria?
Yeah.
So we would greatly appreciate the assistance of the viewers and the listeners. If you can, pass this forward, just tell your friends about this. It's not about us on this. It's about getting the message to the people that need to hear it. It might not be you. It might be 1, 2, or 3 people down the line from you passing this along. That's who needs to see it. Okay.
Yeah.
This statistic right here of 22 a day is the biggest epidemic right now in the veteran community. So we need to do our part to stop that. We need to help each other out, have each other's backs.
We got to do some research into that to see if it's gotten worse since the pullout too.
Depending on, and it's funny too, because like some of the research we were talking about for our upcoming show, which we're not going to discuss quite yet.
Correct. Yeah.
Depending on the research that we did, I saw somebody where it said 17 a day, but it also depends on the time frame of the year. I think that's just kind of on average, it's about 22. But we'll get into that. We'll get into that. So, but yes, again, like we said, we are very humbly appreciative of everybody's viewership and support. We are still trying to grow this, so please help us out. We would be your bestest friends in the whole world if you did.
Like, share, subscribe,
share,
notification bell.
Absolutely. So please help us with that. So just remember the 4 things: be tenacious, refuse to surrender, obliterate your obstacles, seek out help in a time of need. If you can remember those 4 important tenets and pillars of the Battle Bros Code, you are going to be okay. So on that note, we're going to say goodbye for tonight. Thank you again for watching or listening. This has been episode 053 of the Battle Bros podcast with myself, Mac, and my co-host over here, Alamo. Thank you so much, and we will see you down the road.
Battle Bros out.